Hi, for Module 8 I've made some big changes to my learning space. Again, I created for my instructional class a unit learning site. As you can see, we have links to the unit learning sites here on the left navigation. We also have them here in the middle, as well as our overall calendar. We have a link to our Google Drive, helpful tech links. I've started to add in links. Lino, which is something we're going to use, Google Drive help, OneDrive assistance, and then Office Mix help. Under the Writing Links tab, I've started to add a few things. Paperator, which we use often for the kids to edit their own papers. Purdue OWL MLA help. And I've also created a MLA Office Mix. This shows up here under helpful links, as well as in two blend spaces I've created for writing assignments. The MLA Office Mix was a decent amount of work. I took a presentation on MLA style I already had and made a few changes to it. There's a recording in here that you can hear. I entered a table of contents, so if they just have specific questions about quoting short passages, they can simply click on short passage. It'll take them here and explain to them how to do it. If I want to go back to the table of contents, there's a link on the bottom of every page that will take them back to the table of contents. Now from our home page, we will go into the 1A, our college and career unit. Here I've added several formative discussions, ideas for their potential narrative, which goes with a PowerPoint presentation where we talk about the creation of the narrative. We'll see that later in the blend space. And then again, these are formative class starters. These are just basic questions that Yale has used in their application process. They're fun. The kids like to do them. We'll use them as a class starter and we'll talk about them. Also, the biggest part of Unit 1A I've completed. That is our blend space. If we click on that, it'll take us to the blend space. As you can see, everything is complete. We have our Getting to Know You activity where I teach them to use Lino, have them download Chrome. We talk about where all of our documents are going to be stored on the Google Drive. I have them share a folder with me. Then we go over the syllabus, teach them how to make a copy of the syllabus. Then we sync our OneDrive. And this is all before we get into our major lessons. So here we have our soft skills, all the lessons we do through that. We got the formative assessment, which is the soft skill evaluation. And then we actually start talking about our assignment, our narrative. So again, we go through steps of our narrative. This is our PowerPoint, which introduces the narrative. This is part of a day's lesson. We would go through this. And then we have several organizers, information on how to start the narrative. Then we can do our peer review. Again, here's the link to the MLA mix. And then help with word counts. Now we'll go ahead and look at what's completed in the Unit 1B novel unit. With my instructional class, we are going to read the Odyssey. So you see here on the home page, we have a discussion board set up. The Mythology Character Project, which is an office mix, which we'll see in a minute. The kids are going to make their own office mix and turn it in. And then we have several 1B documents. If we move down, we have connection to the Socrative quiz site, which were my formative assessments I showed last time. Some quizzes for the Odyssey. Down below, we have a unit checklist to keep track of everything we're going to do. We have a social constructs lesson. I haven't added this lesson yet because I need to edit it, but this will depend on where my class is at. I mean, I need to get to know the students first before we start to need to know how in depth we have to go with social constructs. Same thing with a background in mythology. I have a background PowerPoint that I've started to turn into a mix, but again, you need to know where the kids are. They will do their mythology character project. We have a background PowerPoint on the Odyssey talking about Homer and the Iliad, all the steps leading up to the Odyssey. The actual Odyssey I've turned into a PDF. The kids will have a paper copy, but in case they don't have the copy at home, they can use the PDF. And also, we have the journal. First thing I want to do is go to our mythology character project, which is an office mix. Here's the office mix I created for my mythology character project, which is an intro project for the Odyssey. Students will be creating an office mix. Through this mix, they're going to present one of the characters from the Odyssey and add some questions on the end and actually give this presentation to other students in the class. Other students will actually have to work through this mix. So I outline it step by step. We start by explaining the assignment. The first step is the characters. They have to pick one. They click on this. It takes them to the Google Drive where they will select a character. So here's what the project selection list looks like. Everybody has access to it. It's on our shared Google folder. They will simply put their name next to the character they desire. Once somebody's name's there, they're out of luck. Character's taken. Next, step 2, they are going to open Odyssey character presentation assignment sheet. So when they click on the link, it will take them here to the assignment sheet, a brief explanation, questions they have to answer for their character, and you'll see the mix takes them to a couple places. They have to develop questions, and then we have the presentation outline, text on the slide, what are we going to say, questions and answers, and then of course we have the basic formative rubric. So again, step 3, once they have that worksheet, they're going to research their character, get the information they need. There's a quick video in here that tells them how to find images on Google, making sure they're quality images they can use in their presentation. And then we move on. Together we download Mix into their PowerPoint. We go step by step through how they create their presentation, how they add audio to their first 3 slides. There's a video on how to help them do that, how they add the questions to their mix. Then of course uploading our mix and then sharing the link on our JT Learn unit page. And then we'll talk about viewing other mixes. They will also get a rubric. They will have to grade their classmates on their mix and answer their questions. After that, the final step is they will look at the analytics from their mix and complete a Google form reflection. This is what the reflection looks like. Very simple. I made it through Google Docs. They'll have to add their name and answer several questions, but this forces them to reflect on their presentation skills. And you see, so here we'll have a link to the Moment in the Novel presentation, which again builds off this mythology character project because they will get feedback on their presentation skills. They'll have to do another short, it's a 1-minute presentation, and then they will complete it in class essay. Again, most of these sheets I have completed. Again, don't feel comfortable uploading them until I get to know the class to see what changes I need to make. And you can see here, our character project link turn in. This is where they will turn in those office mix links. So then everybody has access. We can all watch them. Back to the home page, I started my unit site for Unit 2A, our Room for Debate paper. If we go to that site, we can see navigation, everything set up very similar to our other pages. We have our goals and everything. Again, we have a link to the Room for Debate site where they will get their sources. And then again, we have here, we have access, and here we have access to our Unit 2 Room for Debate blend space. Again, this walks them through the paper. We have our assignment. We have a little intro activity, which is a formative assessment. This takes them through a basic search on Room for Debate, just kind of helping them find their topic and answering basic questions. If you're familiar with Room for Debate, it's a site that shows a recently debated topic. You get several articles, several points of view from different sides. So this questioning kind of makes them look at several different viewpoints to see which way they want to go with their topic. As we move down, we have a planning template, which again is another basic formative assessment that I want the kids to do. I want them to work through this planning template so we can kind of see their progress. It takes them through thesis and then all the different sides of the argument. Again, this is a formative thing, but I believe it will help them with their writing. We talk more about thesis. We have some helpful graph templates for the argument, and then we talk about rebuttal. We have our MLA checklist, and again, another link to our MLA office mix to help, and just a few more things I have to add here, which would be our peer review documents. But again, we have the rubric and assignment sheet here, so they know exactly what's expected. By no means do we have a completed project, but I think my learning space is taking shape. I have a lot of assessments created. It's really going to cut down on the work I have to do in the beginning of the year. Please let me know if you have any questions.